And we should be completely 100% live. If you can hear me and all that good stuff, then either type in the questions or the chat box, let me know, and I'll get to moving. Looks like we're missing quite a few people, so hopefully everybody starts logging in here in a couple of minutes. Looks like we're missing about half of us. So again, if you can hear me, just type in a question real quick, or in the chat portion or whatever, just say, yes, we can hear you. All right, cool. Thank you, Brandon. All right. Okay, so today, well, let me just take a step back. So our first month, we just lightly scraped everything. I had to kind of give you, or not kind of, I had to give you a specific idea about what's going on, the behind the scenes, the psychological effects, and everything else that's going on with social media and the conversations you should have around there. So we didn't even scrape the surface of the power of Facebook. So today, we're going to focus solely on Facebook. I'm going to show you exactly how I do Facebook, and I'm going to take you like behind the scenes and everything so that you can see exactly what I do on Facebook, what type of people are interacting with me because of what I do on Facebook. And then I'm going to teach you how to do everything from find conversation pieces to humor pieces to everything else. So let's just jump into it. I'm here on my homepage on Facebook. And so one of the first things that I'm going to teach you, or the first thing that I'm going to teach you this week, is called the Facebook whip effect. The whip effect is basically how I do Facebook, right? It's super powerful. If you think about it like a pendulum or a whip, there's that peak point to where when the momentum of that whip like peaks right before it's unleashed, you can release another post. And I'll explain all that a little bit better here in a second. Let me make sure everybody is muted real quick. All right. Thought I heard a little feedback there. Okay. So with the whip effect here, I'll explain in just a second. The power of what I'm going to demonstrate to you today is infinite. You don't necessarily have to take the same attitude that I do, right? You want to be authentic. You want to be yourself on Facebook. So if you'll remember, 3 weeks ago when we did the Facebook training, we covered the basics when we talked about the 5 social media prime times. So if you'll remember those 5 social media prime times, they were the early riser from, let's say, 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. They were the stay-at-home mom / employee from that 9 a.m. to noon. There was the foodie, which was from 11 to 2, right? Then there was the employee / the afternoon delight, actually, that was from 3 to 6 in the evening. And then there was the what we called the finisher, which was from 6 in the evening till about 9 or 10. And then the after hours part was the little bonus. So there's really 6 peak times, and especially for a real estate agent. So we went over that, the types of personalities and everything. If you need a refresher, you can go back to the Facebook training that we did 3 weeks ago, as a matter of fact. So it's back there in the Facebook group that you belong to. But knowing your target audience is huge. That's what any kind of marketing, advertising is all about. See, if, like, for example, one time when I originated mortgages, and I still do a lot of direct mail. I believe in it. I'm very, I've been blessed to take a lot of copywriter courses, so I'm really good at writing. So I write a lot of ads and mail them out to the right target audience, right? So I'll give you an example. One time when I was a loan officer, let's just say it was 2006 or 2007, I did a mailing campaign where I had taken a picture of myself with 2 pink dogs, right? And I don't remember what the caption was or anything else, but these dogs were dyed. They were white Maltese dogs, and they were dyed with like Kool-Aid. So when they dried them off and stuff, they look pink. They look like little pink poodles or something like that, right? So I took this picture with these pink poodles and or these pink Maltese dogs, and I mailed it out. But I had one of the most successful mailers I've ever had in my life. And here's why: I didn't send that to one single male real estate agent, right? Because A, I don't want to tarnish my reputation. But B, I knew that a guy sees another guy with 2 pink dogs on an advertisement that he got. He's going to be like, dude, there's no way, right? This guy's man card is totally pulled away from him. But I knew that women seeing a guy that could reach out and had 2 pink dogs, obviously he's not scared to be in touch with his feminine side or whatever. The appeal that I was going for was worked out, right? And I had a very successful, I picked up probably 6 or 7 full-time real estate agents that did 2 or 3 loans a month that I got their complete whole business from, and they were all female, right? Because of that targeting ad. So the reason why I tell you that is it's important to know who you targeted, right? Because I could have taken that same ad that got me, great results and a lot of real estate agents and loans over the years, and I could have sent it out to all guys, and that same ad would have probably not got me a single deal, right? Or I could have been smart and targeted my audience and segmented it towards different communities and maybe got some business sending it to guys. But and the truth of the matter is, it would have totally been a failed marketing expenditure. So you've got to know your audience. So the reason why I talk so importantly about knowing your audience is you're on Facebook and you're going to talk to a specific audience, right? When you post, it doesn't have to be in every post, but when you post about your mortgage business or about your the real estate market or things that amuse you that would be good and amusing to the real estate community, right? Because that's who ultimately we're attracting here on Facebook is real estate agents. So you want to speak real estate agent language when you post on Facebook. I'm going to show you what that looks like and everything else. It's nothing fancy. It's not cryptid or Hebrew or any of that crazy stuff, right? It's really easy to speak. I'm going to teach you, but you want to make sure that your message is getting through to them. Because see, if you have a mixed message, like a lukewarm message that you're trying to talk to agents out of one side of your mouth, but at the other side, you're also not trying to lose any homeowners when you make the post too. What'll happen is you'll go down the middle and you won't get any agents or any homeowners because it won't make sense to either side because you tried to cut the middle. And we touched on this before, but I want to show you how you can build your momentum up on Facebook. And I want you to understand that when you post, have some intention behind it, right? And I'm going to show you the intentions behind every post that I do. This is what exactly you should be doing. This is super easy to understand, and I'm going to show you how to get all the components of it, put it together within a couple of minutes, right? But I'm going to take my time today, and I'm going to probably take the first 30 minutes or so of our training to go over the specific way that I do Facebook. So let's just go back a couple of days on my Facebook page because there's no better way for me to teach you other than the things that I do, right? And so that's the best way that I know to show you how to do things because they work for me. They'll work for you. Trust me. So I'm going to go back. Let's just see here. That's Saturday. And here we go. Okay, so here's a picture of my son. This is Friday, I believe. Here's a picture of my son and my niece, right? They're so cute together. I know that that's going to get me a few likes and comments, right? Unfortunately, that was graduation night around here for everybody, so nobody was really on Facebook doing anything but taking pictures, okay? The next day, I woke up and my buddy Simon wrote this story about how to kick a filthy cocaine habit, right? He just like basically came out, told this terrible story about how he's turned his life around. It's a really inspiring story. So I shared it. Plus, I know that just for, the way that I run my business, right? Just think about this from the amygdala standpoint that we talked about in the catch selling program. But from my standpoint, I know words like cocaine and drugs and stealing and things like that really stick out in people's opinions. So it gets me people to tune in, right? Which gets me a couple comments and a couple of interactions with people, right? And you think, okay, well, Ryan, who are these people that you're interacting with? Well, let's just start with the first one. You can see it says realtor at New Home Realty Source LLC, right? He just had something funny to say here because, cocaine is a hell of a drug, right? Realtors have senses of humor just like us, right? They're normal people. We try to act like they're all these professional, upstanding citizens, and they may be some of them, right? But the majority of them, the ones that you want to work with, the ones that I want to work with are just like me, right? And so that gives you an idea. So I know that that's something controversial that'll probably give me some interaction, right? So we've got, 10 or so likes and then, 2 or 3 comments. This is a real estate agent here, right? He covers this bag over his head as his online thing. Also another real estate agent that's sharing information with me. He's a realtor associate broker at Halo, which is a really big operation here. Not really big, a really boutique, cool, upscale operation with some top producers here in Allen, Texas. And so you can see him and I, we have this inside joke, and I'm going to explain how all this works here in a minute. We have this inside joke with wrestling being fake and him being a big fan of the Von Erichs. And if you're not familiar with him, that is just totally irrelevant. I'm not going to waste your time going into it. For those of you that aren't familiar with him, you're probably laughing right now watching this. So Dorian's older, to say the least. But he also markets his business on Facebook, and he doesn't ever go out and prospect ever. And just to show you real quick, you can see that he's on here regularly. Click a mouse, find a house, right? He just finds funny stuff to say, pictures, right? He's been following my program for the better part of a year and a half now. He's on there regularly, and he's got all this stuff set up. I just wanted to show you that that's how a successful agent operates, believe it or not. Okay, this is a guy who probably sells 4 to 5 properties a month, which, if you know, as far as agents go, that's a lot. Okay, so I know, so I ran across during reading Simon's thing about cocaine, honestly, I ran across this thing about cannabis, thought it was awfully funny. Look at this, 51 comments, And you think, okay, Ryan, well, who comments on this kind of stuff? No, in no way am I telling you to start a conversation about this stuff, right? I'm just giving you an example of how I've been able to attract the right person. I'm going to teach you what I'm doing and all this stuff, but I'm giving you examples of how I attract the right person that I want to do business with, right? So this lady right here, she is a real estate investor, right? And also a real estate agent. Right here, you can see that Debbie is a realtor at JP and Associates Realtors. I don't know what state that's in, but she's obviously a realtor. This guy's a big time sales coach. You can see that this gentleman here is well, he doesn't have it there, but he's a loan officer, I believe. And you can see we go through here, and these people comment quite a bit. Here's another person, real estate marketing, entrepreneur, investor. So it's not like I'm just attracting just like, goofball friends of mine. Here's another one, real estate investor, Landon Murren. He's also an agent out of Lubbock. And you can see that I've got quite a few agents that actually, this is one of the top real estate agent recruiters for Carrington right there, and also for I forget the name of their real estate company. Anyway, Maria Mulk recruits a lot of agents. So you can see that this post, right, be it controversial, whatever you want to call it. Sorry, phone's ringing there. Be it controversial, whatever you want to call it, yielded me 51 or so comments, okay? And because of that, right, I know that my edge rank, which is what we talked about a couple of weeks ago with Facebook, where it has three components: time decay, weight, and affinity. So I know that because of these 51 comments and everything else on here, that's a lot of weight and affinity with a lot of people, right? And so I'm going to build on it a little bit more. Okay, so I'm going to show you what we're working on, this whip effect here. So my edge rank is going through the roof. And then I saw that thing from Dorian, and it reminded me of professional wrestlers, right? Because that's what Dorian put on my wall, because I'm trying to speak to my perfect audience, right? And so I'm actually targeting people that fit in Dorian's demographic when I sent this out, when I made this post, right? I'm going to teach you all this stuff. Don't worry. So I'm saying, since professional wrestlers are really just actors, then why don't they win Academy Awards, Oscars, Emmys, or something like that? All their acting's convinced millions of people it's real. And you can see I had 5, 10 comments right there. A few people like it. And the next thing you see right here is, want to learn some gangster social media tricks over the weekend? You can get 5 free training videos here. I advertise my business. Now you can see right here that there's not too many people that have liked this. Matter of fact, Kevin Nations is my personal mentor, so obviously he's going to boost me up any chance he gets. And then Jason also belongs to our mastermind. So it's not like I have a whole lot of people that have opted in, or that have liked this, or that have shared it on Facebook. But let me tell you what does happen. People go to this syndicate.com. This is just one of my trainings, and I'm just going to show you how all this ties in a second. People can go here, put their name and email address in, and watch this, and you can see that people have commented on there and everything else, right? People are sharing this, whatever the case may be. But watch these videos, and I don't need them to like or comment on Facebook, because I got their email address and phone number when they opted into this program. Okay, the same thing works for your business. I'm going to show you how to tie that in here in a second. But I did notice, right, because I'm mindful, I come back a few hours later, either from my mobile device or right here on my laptop, and I'm mindful that, okay, these posts in the morning built up a whole lot of weight on my edge rank, right? Whereas this post right here doesn't have hardly any kind of weight or anything like that, right? No likes. Everybody that's actually clicked on it or saw it went to the website and either put their email address in or didn't. So I know that I need to also boost something else for my business that may be more attractive, right? While my edge rank is still up. So I waited a couple more hours. And then Friday, the day before, I did a hangout with a lot of really cool internet marketers, right? 6 of them, as a matter of fact. And so what I did was I made sure that I was able, and they've tagged their friends and everything else in here, but I've made sure that I did the replay and then tagged everybody so that it went out to all of their walls, right? You can see that there's 9 others here. And so on each one of these people's walls, each person on this list wall also got, and their fan pages there, also sees the same exact post. Okay, and that's what I call a social media syndicate. The social media syndicate is what I'm going to teach you on the second half of our training today. So I just want you to get a good idea at it, because if I have 3,000 friends, and Brian Horn has 5,000 friends, and AJ Roberts has 5,000 friends, and Brandy, and so on, then when I post something like this, it's not just going out to my 3,000 friends, it's going out to 50, maybe 60,000 people in this particular case that get to see this post as they scroll through during the day. And obviously, since we're all tagged in it, there's a lot of affinity and weight associated with that as well. still, it's business. What happens is you can't get discouraged when people don't like or comment on here, because what happens is people go here and they're clicking on the link and watching. For example, this is what happened. Instead of people liking and commenting, they go here, click on the link, and actually watch the Social Media Maniacs replay. Okay. So I understand that. No harm, no foul, no nothing. All right. But I know this whip effect gets people and drives them to my traffic or to my website, because I can see the reports. Okay. Now, the next thing you can see here, same thing. I shared one of my friends, AJ, who was on the hangout with me. He's the strongest man in the world, like hands down. He's in the Guinness Book of World Records. Just unbelievable guy. 28 years old. He was the strongest man in the world when he was 26. He put out a really good post on taking care of your body. And so I shared that, right? Well, at the same time, I don't get a lot of interaction on his post, right? Because everybody goes to his page. And if you were to go to his page, since we're recording this, I won't. But if we were to go to his page, then you would see that there's probably hundreds of comments on this. Same thing. I know, last thing, and then we'll get on to the Syndicate here. I know that these three people are very famous within my demographic, right? That's the singer for Metallica, Slayer, and Megadeth, just for you people that aren't metalheads or youngsters. So I know that asking questions, which I told you questions engage people, I just asked, can you name the three bands these people sing for? You can see we got 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 comments, and then, a few likes. So we're still continually, even though I'm just sharing things that I'm into that are random, I'm still getting people that comment and chime in. And for example, Bill Chestnut here, Vice President Business Development at Allegiance Title Company. He's also a real estate agent. Seth Larrabee, one of the most popular people on social media right now, period. Amanda Thomas, she's a real estate broker at Amanda Thomas and Associates. So the reason why I show you these people is so that you can see that it's not like, again, just my drinking buddies from high school or something like that are chiming in on these things. But you can see again how I constantly use this whip effect. I build something up with something that's entertaining, something that might go viral, something that asks a question that's leading. And then from there, the whip effect, I launch things like, who can resist a cute thing of your kid, right? And from there, I launch something about my business. Okay? Again, here I am advertising my business, talking about getting my free podcast at the iTunes store. And then I tagged Seth, who, again, I mentioned is one of the most popular people on social media right now. I made sure that I tagged him. And then Parker's my guest next week, so I want to make sure I tagged him too. And now, speaking of that, let me explain to you how that works. And that's what I call the social media syndicate. So you want to use this whip effect as much as you can in order to create the social media syndicate, okay? So this is something that I just posted an hour ago, as you can see. Man, it looks like I'm going to have my tattoo removed. Sucks, but I've got an allergy to red ink, and it's just got to come out. It's driving me crazy. So I booked an appointment next week. I know that that's something that's interesting, right, for people to talk about on social media. So I had my wife take a picture of my tattoo where it's all messed up in there and said, hey, I'm going to have to get laser hair removal. But you see how I frame all my posts here, okay? What should I expect as far as laser removal? Anyone out there done it already? I'm asking for engagement so that people can chime in, okay? I'm asking people to give me their experience. I could have easily left this off as I have. If it wasn't for bad luck, I'd have nothing exciting going on in my life, right? And there's really no reason for anybody to say anything. But since that last aspect right there, how I led them and how I framed that, just by asking a couple questions, what should I expect? And have you done it before? That leads me to have 11, 12, 13, 15 or so comments within the last, within the last hour. And you say, okay, again, Ryan, what kind of people chime in on that? A lawyer, who's a great source of leads, by the way, a personal trainer, another personal trainer. Let's see here. This one may just be another internet marketer. We have some really intelligent people on this thread. They're just not real estate agents this time. For the first time ever, I thought I had a few on there, but I guess I don't. But you can see right here another example of the syndicate, which I'm going to explain after we get done with this last post. Here's David, Century 21 agent, success. He's the broker at Udane Realty in New Jersey. I think it's Hoboken, if I remember correctly. Anyway, he's got me a couple of speaking gigs, and he's also a private coaching client. And the other day, I wrote a post on Facebook, and he decided to share it. Again, you see how he's following my method as a real estate broker. He tagged me so that his post, you see him showing up on my wall, And you see, originally when I wrote the post, I actually tagged Sean, so it shows up in his wall too. Okay. And you even have one of his agents here chime in and say, I'm one of the lucky ones. I'm on your team. Many things. Okay. So you can see that agents post on my wall a lot. And if you ride back, you can see this is one of the internet marketing legends. Dexter Abraham obviously tagged me in a post. Seth Larrabee. I get tagged in people's posts a lot. Okay. And that's because I belong to what I call a Facebook or a social media syndicate. Let me just show you another couple of examples. As we roll back a couple of days, where agents post on my wall on a regular basis. Because the power of the social media syndicate is so much bigger than yourself, so much bigger than an agent or any way else that you can get the word out on social media. So I have a lot of people post on my wall. Plus, I post quite a bit too. I guess I'm blocked where I can't go back more than a couple of days. So, okay. Anyway, I have agents like David post on my wall when they get listings, when they sell a house, when they do something good, when customers give them testimonials, whatever the case may be. I have agents, I tell them that my wall is an open place for them to post their things that they sell, their open houses, whatever they want to do. Feel free to use my Facebook page as a place to tag me or post your business. Here's why. Hey, I've got 3,613 friends according to this right now. And so if an agent tags me in a post and an agent only has 500 or 600 friends, guess what? I've got 3,600. I've got quite a bit more friends than they do. And most of my friends are agents because that's how I position myself. So they can tag me in that. And guess what? They got their 500 friends plus my 3,600 friends. All of a sudden, we've got a lot more people, right? That's 4,100 if I can count correctly. So we've got, 4,100 people versus their original 500 that they maybe had. Okay. So when they have an open house, I can tell them, hey, I'm friends with a bunch of agents in the area. So next time you have an open house, make sure that you tag me in the post on Facebook or put it on my wall, or feel free to share the link on my wall because I want to help you market it and get other agents to go check your open house out. They'll absolutely take you up on that. Okay. You want to position yourself that if your clients, when you do business with them and they close their loan, that they go and they post on their Facebook wall and tag you, the real estate agent, or maybe you post on your wall and you do something like this. And you see how people's names come up just because I capitalized the first letter there. And I could choose to, put that person's name out there. Say Sean was somebody I just closed a loan for. So I could tag Sean. Hey, thank you so much for trusting me with your business. And it was a pleasure. I could just say it was a pleasure working with Bill, who's a real estate broker up there in Massachusetts. It was a pleasure working with Bill as well. I love my job. Do you love yours? Something real simple that ends in a question mark. So what I've done simply by framing this along with my social media syndicate, which we're going to dig a little bit deeper into here in just a minute. But so think about this for a second. Thank you so much for trusting me with your business, customer. And it was a great pleasure working with your agent as well. I love my job. Do you love yours? Right? Something real simple as that goes out. Bill's got, let's say 1,000 friends. Sean's got a couple thousand friends, and I've got a few thousand friends. Our exposure is so much more when we all work together and we all conspire together. There's a reason that Seth Larrabee tags me in his post, right? One of the most popular people on Facebook. There's a reason that, sorry for the scroll issues there. There's a reason that David Finale tags me in his post. There's a reason that when Colleen Frost gets a listing, she makes sure she puts it on my page or tags me in it, or the same with Colby Mills and Dorian and everybody else. And what I'm creating here, and this is what I want you to do too, I'm going to show you how to get content and everything. But what I'm creating here is a reason for people to go to my page. Okay, so if someone hasn't seen my post in a couple of days, but they just got an open house, or they just have a new listing that or they just sold a house and they want to celebrate, or they just made a video about the home, or whatever the case may be, they're going to tag me in that post. And chances are people are going to scroll through there and see my name and want to take a look at, oh, wow, this guy's got some interesting stuff. He's, a rock star, whatever does that mean, right? And take a look at who I am and what I've got going on, because we're curious. You all know that you've done this before. Who is this person that they tag? And that leads to friend requests. That leads to new relationships. And you know what? David, he's a broker. So he's going to have, for example, in this scenario, he's going to have 20 or 30 agents that work for him that now all of a sudden are exposed to my name too. And he's telling them, hey, Ryan's a man of pure integrity and a no BS guy. Okay. And again, David's an agent. This happened 3 hours ago. So once you put yourself in a position to attract these agents, they'll take you on in these social media syndicates. Okay. The social media syndicate's awesome because you get to use your numbers and their numbers for good for both of you. And you get to reach out to their audience. They get to reach out to your audience. And the cool thing is you don't have to do it with just one agent, right? You are creating and positioning yourself on Facebook to where multiple agents can post on your wall. Because, for example, the market's really tight here in Dallas. So if Amanda Thomas and Dorian Moffat are both working the Plano area, which they both are, and Dorian gets a listing, I want him to post that on my wall because I know Amanda's looking on my wall on a regular basis for that to see if there's any open houses or houses for sale in this area because I know she has a few buyers and vice versa. So the other byproduct of that is someone else is creating my content for me. See, 3 hours ago, I didn't have to come up with something fancy to post. David came up with something better than I could have said myself. And this was unsolicited, right? He'd obviously read one of my posts and really liked it. So the power of the social media syndicate is syndicating your content. You can do this with each other, right? You can do this with each other. You can share each other's stuff on Facebook. So if you're like a branch manager, you got 2 or 3 of your loan officers, you can help them spread the word. Anytime you go through your news feed and you see something interesting that's believable, that's a huge component of all this, right? Interesting and believable that you would want to share, then share it on your page. For example, if you're going through your news feed and an agent has a $500,000 home that's really nice for sale, and they've offered some kind of upgrades or whatever the case may be, as I'll show you here in a minute, then be sure to share that on your wall and then send a message to that agent saying, hey, anytime you have houses for sale or anything like that, feel free to leave the link on my wall or tag me and whatever. I've got 500 friends on Facebook. I want to help you spread the word. Surely some of the agents I'm connected to might be interested in your property as well. And so you start that syndicate. You can even explain to your syndicate, such as your agents, that, hey, you know what, if we all work together and we all, you guys can share this stuff on my wall, I'll help spread the word as much as I can on your properties as well. Matter of fact, here's where it gets good, y'all. Matter of fact, my title company that I use, I'll get them to share your listings as well. My insurance person, such as Sean in this case, right? I'll get my insurance person to share your post as well, so that when you post on my page with your properties, you can have 4 or 5 shares. You can have however many likes, because I'm going to help you grow your business as well by creating a social media syndicate. So we're going to get our title company, our insurance company, me, the agent, a couple of other agents that work the same familiar area, and any other outside vendors, whether it be your appraisal company or whether it be your inspection company, whether it be your termite person, the person that the real estate agent uses for signs, or whatever that case may be, right? You use them and you create a social media syndicate. You get everybody conspiring to share and post on your wall, right? You're that go-to person on social media, right? It doesn't happen overnight, but it's actually a lot easier than you think. And I'm going to show you how to organize it. Matter of fact, I'm going to give you a real life example of one of my clients. So let's just go. Ro is not a loan officer. So I'm just going to give you a really easy, that way I don't expose anybody else, just really easy rundown of how she's running her social media syndicate right now. So let me look on here. And let's see. Should be Empower. Sorry for the silence, everybody. Sometimes they pull right up here because I was just in there the other day. And sometimes Facebook tends to hide them. Let's see here. Let's see if I can find Rose Simmons. here's a good example for her, right? She's in the health and fitness world. I can't find her group, but that's okay. I'll show you what I'm talking about here in a second. She's in the health and fitness world, and you can see she's posting on a regular basis. She's sharing other pages' photos. She's engaging and tagging people. She's tagging her page, for example. That would be first option for you. And she's also, sharing people that are, in her case, would be like real estate agents to y'all. And you can see she's getting a little bit of engagement. People are also sharing her stuff, right, which is really cool. She's got viral images. So she's working the whole program. What you can do over here, I'll show you something really cool. You can go over to the groups and you can create your own group, just like what we have here on Facebook, okay? So you can create your own group, just like we have the first option, and that's done by simply going down here on your home page. Whoops. When you're in your home screen like this, you can go down and start a group just by heading right there to group, hit more, and then create a group. It's as simple as that. And what you can do is you can create that group. For example, I have Social Skulls here. You can create this group of just a few people, right? For example, in this one, we have 34 members. And we set some guidelines. And I'll send this, I think this is already uploaded into our group. So I wrote the bylaws of the group. Really easy. The first rule of Social Skulls, you do not talk about social skulls, right? So I'm already violating. But in order for us to get the full benefit, it must remain a secret. So what we've done is we've got 34 people together that have all agreed. See, everybody signed their name right here. Everybody that's joined up has signed their name in there. And I'll let you copy this and use your own language. So it's not like you got to go out and create this. But that explains to them exactly what they need to do when they're in the skulls. And I'll show you what's happening. If someone shares something back here in the Social Skulls network, you can see that other people, for example, will go into that post, which here's the link to that post. And you see we have a couple of shares and 251 comments on this particular post, right? That's because I enabled a social media syndicate. Some of the people in that group chimed in, got other people to chime in, affinity went up, and you can see that there's 251 just the last time that I actually used the social media skulls right here. Same thing. So I'll post something back here when I need it. Here's Tony, who's one of my loan officer coaching clients. He posts something back here when we need it. Sean's the same way. I'll give you an example. You can see here it was shared 4 times. And he's got his credit repair person. He's got me, obviously. Chris Campbell, which is a loan officer. Nick Carpenter, loan officer. So he's got his whole crew here. This is his whole separate Tony, Zach. These are all people that network with him, that are real estate agents, loan officers that send Sean business. Because what he did was when he recorded his Facebook video, or I'm sorry, a YouTube video, he put it on Facebook and then shared it back there in the Social Skulls. So the reason why I show you that is that's the true power of a social media syndicate. People sharing your content, right? So that's how things go viral. And while this may not get millions of views, it's still got a better chance since he tagged 11, 12 people, 13 counting me there. Plus he had 4 people share it, 9, 10, 11, 12 people like it. And then he's had, let's say, 10 comments or so. That's a pretty heavy advertisement for him to get his word out there via video. Which brings me to another important part. This is one of the reasons why you should be using, sorry for the emails popping up there. This is one of the reasons why you should be using video. And now you have the social media syndicate built around video. So when you make your videos and you want to share them, then you just make this. Colleen Frost is very, very good at that. Let me show you an example of what she does. When she sells homes, she makes sure she takes a picture with their sold sign in front. When she posts new homes for sale, see, you can see that she tags other people in her post. See, open house, June 9th, 2 through 4, right? So she has some more details, and then she tags somebody else that's another agent. Got somebody else to share because she's part of she believes in the social media syndicate way of doing things too. Same thing here. If she's trying to get this, $5 million listing from this divorce attorney in McKinney that we are working on together. So she makes sure that she tags her client and gives him some free publicity on her page as well. And in the meantime, she gets to show a little bit of her Facebook marketing. Look at that. 10, 11, 12, 13 or so people that liked it, and she's got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 comments. That's a good amount of edge rate. That's a lot more than the normal person. Same here with Colleen. She sees she got a new listing coming to Cul-de-sac and Murphy. That's a believable thing that you would want to tag people in and show off, right? Because it's a nice home. And so what she did, she tagged the 4 people that are on her team and in her syndicate. And so there you go. The syndicate starts chiming in just as if they're supposed to. Anytime she can get a chance to take a picture of her sign, she does. She gets her syndicate to sign in and show it. So I show you this because that's the power of it. Real estate agents believe in it and buy into it. So once you show them that, hey, all these people that are asking us for business, what if we organize them all together in one group and we all advertise together on Facebook to help our edge rank? Oh, wait, you don't know what edge rank is? Well, let me explain that to you, agent. It's time, it's time decay, weight, and affinity. And let me explain to you how those work. This is what I've learned. This is what I know. You know all these things now to have these conversations because you've been in on these webinars and these teleseminars that I've done. So now that I've shown you hands-on how powerful it is and how easy it is to do it, all you've got to do is create a Facebook group. And here are the steps. Create a Facebook group and add your real estate agent, your title company, your insurance agent, your appraiser, the people that you do, the credit repair company, the people you do business with on a regular basis. Use my rules, which are uploaded to the back of the group already. If they're not, then I'll make sure they're up there by the end of the day today. From the Social Skulls, just change out to the name of your group from Social Skulls, and you may want to switch out a few words in there. I don't believe I cuss, but I think you may want to switch out some very directive language, like we use Fight Club type of language when I wrote this. So, but long story short, go back there, organize a group, add your agents, credit repair, all those people to it, and then as your agents get listings, have them go to that group and leave the listing in that group so that you, your title company, your credit repair company can all go back to that agent's post and share it and help them spread the word, right? An agent post in your group that you create for them and they get 2 or 3 shares on an open house listing, or they get 14 or 15 comments on an open house listing because you got the title company and your appraiser to chime in, just those few of you to chime in on the deal. They're going to be impressed. They're going to be like, wow, you really do know how to get people to involve and get them to share. This is a really cool concept, especially when you're able to explain to them that between me and the 4 people that shared the 4 people that comment, liked, and shared that post, there's 2,500 people in our area that we're connected to. Some of them are other agents. Some of them are brokers. So, good luck. Hopefully we help get your video out or your listing out or whatever the case may be. Excuse me. And so I had to get a drink there. My throat's getting dry. And so organizing one of these groups and creating a social media syndicate is absolutely huge. And agents absolutely love it, as I've shown you firsthand. And it's a way for you to control the information. For example, someone posts back here, and this is just my thoughts behind it, right? Because I'm all about positioning myself. If someone posts back here that they've got a great deal on a home and they need to, get the word spread out there quick, I can see that firsthand and maybe reach out to 2 or 3 of the other agents I know and do everybody a favor, right? Hey, let me introduce Amanda to Dorian because y'all have that mutual need, right? Dorian or Amanda had the buyers in the scenario that I gave, and Dorian had the listing. So why wouldn't I connect the 2 of them and they are able to do a transaction that they may have missed somehow before, right? MLS doesn't always return every search you're looking for, so it's important to be friends with agents. And the next thing you know, I'm a hero loan officer, right? Even if I don't get that loan, I have the ability to go back to them and say, hey, I'd like to do stuff like this for you more often. What can I do to get your mortgage business? Let's have a talk about how I can help you grow your real estate business. In the meantime, you can feed me all your loans. You see the results in advance of how I can work. Then you have value there, and you're able to have that powerful, serious conversation with a real estate agent because you're no longer at a talking point. You've already done something for them. And it really is as easy as I've just shown you. I've actually taken a lot of time to explain this in depth so that you have a really good understanding of how this works. And I'll be always open when I repost this back there in the group to any questions you have for me. And by no means are we done. We've still got another 20 or 30 minutes to go. But I want you to understand that creating these groups in the social media syndicate is huge because, as most of you probably notice, and I would just assume that you see my posts pretty regularly, especially if you go under top stories here, that you see my post pretty regularly coming through your news feed, right? Or when people post on my wall or whatever the case may be. So you can see When you go to top stories, they're always the ones that have a lot of comments and everything on them. Okay. So let's get down to the bare basics of this. Let me go back to my page. You say, Ryan, so where do you come up with conversation pieces to actually engage people, right? So I want you to get out of your mind that, I'm somebody special or anything like that. I've built this up doing the same tactics I'm sharing with you. And it doesn't take long to gain that influence of people, okay? So this like terrible picture of my tattoo here, for example. When this picture shows up, I want to make sure, and I'm real, I guess the word would be OCD about this, but I want to make sure that my picture shows up the exact spots when someone's scrolling on my page that I want it to. So one of the things that you can do is you can go over here and hit edit and reposition photo. See, when this picture, when I upload it from my mobile phone, it's cut off down there. So the little tweaks, like making sure that my whole infected tattoo area there is saved so that when someone hits my page, I want them to see exactly. I don't want them to have to take time and another step and click elsewhere to look. I want them to that one click to be the like button or that one click to be the comment that they make there. I don't want them to have to click on the picture to see it and then decide if they want to chime in or not, right? I want to take that away from them. As little as that sounds, that little tweak right there will get you more likes because people aren't having to click the picture to see the whole thing. They can see everything right there that they needed to, basically, right? And I'm always that way. If I put a post out there, and this is something I highly suggest you practice as well. If I put a post out there that's not successful, so let me see when the last time I had one of those is. I think I cleared them up already. Okay, so this I have 2 likes on this. So in my world, that would be unsuccessful. Okay, even though most people watch this from the hardcore closer page. So I'm going to hide this from my timeline because nobody engaged on it. So what I want to happen is when someone goes and they see my name in the news feed, same thing goes for you. They see people have commented on this thread right here and they go to my page to see who I am. They see that David, another real estate agent's posted on my page. And then they see that every time I post, I get 30 comments, 17, blah, 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 because I'm finding amusing stuff. So you say, Ryan, where do you find amusing stuff to talk about? Well, that's something that a lot of people obviously apparently face, right? I just really wanted honest feedback if anybody's ever had to go through laser tattoo removal and what it felt like. So that's just like literally something that you could ask. And a lot of people have tattoos and a lot of people are passionate about their tattoos. And during that process, sometimes they go wrong. So it's something that's good that will actually get people to chime in on. It worked. But what if you don't have anything like that going on? Your kids are always a great thing to post and say something cute about them and then ask people, do their kids do the same thing? And once you build that edge rank up and you get 5, 10, 15 comments and a bunch of likes, you make sure you post about your business above that. But if you're looking for entertaining stuff to share, my favorite site to find content is Reddit. That's Reddit, completely free. And Reddit is like a one big joke, I guess you would say. There's all sorts of anything you can think of. There's a forum for it on Reddit, whether it be real estate or mortgages, banking, or conspiracy theories or just whatever. Right? Reddit's full of all sorts of great things. So once you go through, you create a Reddit account for free. It's real easy. You can sign in, I think, even with Facebook. Then, you set up what you want to belong to. And you can see on Reddit, there's hot, new, rising, controversial, top, and then people that have submitted stuff they found out on Wiki. My favorite thing about Reddit is Today I Learned. So let's just take a live look and I'll show you an example. So you have hot, new, rising, controversial, top, or Wiki. So I'm a controversial individual. I like controversy on Facebook just because it builds edge rank. If I say something controversial and people get in arguments on my comment feed, as crazy as that sounds, that boosts my edge rank and actually helps me get more sales. Now, you say, okay, Ryan, well, I'm not going to be that person. That's completely okay. But you're still wanting to find out content that you can share in a non-biased way. So let's just start here for fun and games. This is under controversial. So TIL stands for Today I Learned. So let's look back here. So here you go. Today I learned Vatican City is the only place in the world where an ATM displays instructions in Latin. That's semi-interesting, right? You could maybe, if you're funny, you can come up with a Pope joke or something like that to go along with it if that's your type of personality. Right here, as a child, Andre the Giant was driven to school by author Samuel Beckett, and Andre was too big to fit on the school bus. Now, see if you think about that for a second. I could take this link and go over here to Dorian's page, and I could tag him in this and leave the link on his page here, and even put on there, for example, because I know he is into wrestlers, I could even go through here and copy this. Or no, I can't. So anyway, if I want to take the time, I don't want to waste your time, but I could even type this into Dorian's page just because I mentioned the other day that he was into wrestling and stuff. So you see how that just spending a second on here allowed me to make a connection really quick. Because A, I'm getting to know the people that I'm prospecting and working with, right? If you have an agent that you're doing business with and you're friends with them on Facebook, you should know as much about them as possible. After all, the government's spying on us. Why don't you just join in and start spying on other people as well, right? And so you want to know your audience as much as possible. I know about Dorian, so I'm able to get that bond with him, and he continues to send business to one of my loan officers that I recommended to him just because we have now this relationship, and he trusted my word in the beginning. So now Brian gets his business and has for forever. So going through Reddit, you can go through here. Today I learned that Lincoln was the first Republican president, right? I had no idea, but obviously that's something that's really cool. Most people probably didn't know that. And so it's just like revelations. And you can even go through, like, hot is what's like, the most popular. Egypt isn't the country with the most pyramids. It's Sudan, where they have approximately 255. See, I didn't even know Sudan had pyramids in it. So this is something like, I could go through here. Right. And then I could insert that link, right? Just being funny. Hey, did you know that Sudan has more pyramids than Egypt? Egyptians got to get it together. They're losing at everything right now, because they've got the big Arab Spring and revolts and everything else going on over there. So that's some comedy, the way that I would write comedy that reaches out. And that's a lot of people like, wow, I had no idea that there were more pyramids in Sudan, right? So I might build up, I'm not going to post that right this second, but I might build up my comments from that. And then in a couple of hours, come back to this and then say, hey, you know what? Right now is the perfect time to buy a house. If you are on the fence and you're thinking about submitting offers, do not waste time by not being pre-qualified. Make sure you reach out to me. I'm here to help. How can I help you? Right? Something along those lines. But after you've built it up with something entertaining, whether you've got it from Reddit or wherever you've come up with it, could be MSN Today. It could be something you got from, I'll show you some pages and stuff to follow here in a minute on Facebook. But you could have got that information from anywhere. But the fact is, once you get the word out there and you build up the comments and the interaction by using some sort of viral content, then what you do from there is you're able to advertise your business, because when people come through and they see Cheryl Holmes shared this, right? So I could go and check out what is Sydney Meetup. For example, this says Patrick commented on his own status. Sam Stamper like Allison Mason. So you see all these ads coming through my news feed right here of people sharing and things like that. And notice, these are the most recent. So if you go to top stories, it's going to be even more people trying to get you over to their page. So that's what it takes, just so you have an idea. So the next thing, we talked about Facebook groups, how to make your page interesting, social media syndicates, the groups, position your post. Next thing you know, I want to show you the right people to follow for the last 10 minutes or so here on Facebook and how to stay in touch with them. So the first person that you should follow, obviously, on Facebook is me. And so when you go over here to the like button, make sure you hit get notifications and show in newsfeed. That way, every time I post, you'll get notifications. So when I post a video like this, how to escape from being a sales slump victim, you'll get a notification of it. Same thing, another really good place, and I don't look at it as if I have any competition, right? Because everybody's doing great stuff out there. Here's the mortgage marketing animals. From time to time, they have a lot of times they do bragging, but from time to time, they have good tips and videos and things like that, good viral content that you could share. So that's a good place to like. Same thing, go ahead and get notifications from them. As you approach agents that you're prospecting, right? As you become friends with them and you prospect agents, you want to make sure that you get notifications from them, because you want to be notified when they post so that you can talk to them, right? So that you can start a conversation with them and become familiar with them. Most of you probably know this, but Frank Gray and Brian Stevens are a great place for news for our industry. They generally release a video a day or so regarding guidelines. They used to be called TV Think Big Work Small, and now they're called the National Real Estate Post. But they generally put out some pretty good content regarding our industry, and some exciting stuff that you could share. Here you go, latest FHA big idea, whatever the case may be. They've got a really popular show, obviously because they come up with good content. So that's another page that I would get notifications and like. Now, as far as brokerages, Century 21, for example. Let's see if we can just find Century 21. That is not a good page. All right. Okay. Century 21, 140,617 likes. If I'm going to prospect Century 21 agents, okay, I can come over to this page. I can like it. I can get notifications from it. It's already set to show up in my newsfeed, right? It's even going to recommend similar pages to this. But if I'm tied into what Century 21's doing and I'm prospecting Century 21 agents, then I can know that, just 30 minutes ago, they posted about Tim Tebow. We're here to help you if you need the move go suddenly. So if I'm prospecting Century 21 agents, I could share this and say, hey, did y'all know that Tim Tebow chose to use a Century 21 agent? What do you think about that? And that's something that, of course, Century 21 agents are going to have their opinion. That's because we're the best, right? Because they're passionate about it. And so that's a way to start getting people to chime in. And so, going and same thing with Remax. And what you're also able to do, let me just give you another example, is they have really good content on here, but they also talk about when their next events are. They talk about the locations and the franchises and the new places they've added. Hey, we'd like to welcome our newest franchise in, Manhattan, New York, or wherever the case may be. They do all these announcements on here so you can stay in the know, right? What if they send an announcement out that they just built a new franchise in Alabama and you happen to be originating loans in Alabama? You could be one of the first people to reach out to that branch to try to start doing business with the agents as they recruit them over, and so on and so on. So that's a really good page for you to follow. Any of the big brands, Remax, anybody that you're constantly trying to, prospect out there, I would follow their pages as well. And you can even, when you go through Century 21, share their stuff, any C21 agents out there, and then share it. It's all about being social and helping the agents get their brand out there. Now, remember, inside the social media syndicate, I showed you how we were sharing other people's posts and stuff like that. Remember, one thing I think I left out when we were talking about that is remember how important it is that you focus that around the agent. So when you start the group, you may name the group Bob Smith Remax Syndicate Group, right? Or Bob Smith's social media marketing group, or Bob Smith's Facebook marketing group. You want to give it their name, the agent's name, so that they have a sense of ownership to it, right? So that they actually own, in their mind, that group. Even though you're the person controlling it, they feel like it's theirs, so that they're more compelled to go back and share material back there. Now, the way, just so you know, the best way to share people's stuff inside of those groups, I'll just take my own stuff here, is right here where it says about an hour ago. If you'll click on that, that actually gives you the link. It's the best link for you to copy, for you to share with people. So when you were to go into a group, so you go down here to your groups. So when you're going to a group here, got all sorts of groups I'm members of. So when you're going to a group here, that you're able to say, can you help me share this? And then post the link so that they can go right there and click on that Facebook link and go right to that particular picture in this instance. Make sure y'all aren't dealing with that. So you can see the whip effect, the social media syndicate. It's a way to put those vendors to work for you. Next time an insurance agent walks in your office and he says, hey, you know what? Blah, blah, blah. I'd like to do this. We got fast turnarounds. Go, how many friends you got on Facebook? Do you get on there often? Well, how do you feel about helping me promote my brand to the people that you are friends with on there? Right? Turn them into people that are cheerleaders for your brand. Because what happens is people start going to your page, just like I'm showing you here. They start going to your page to see what kind of conversations people have, right? So 5 minutes ago, since we've been on here, hey, you got to take the good with the bad, though, right? I'm willing to put myself out there, so I have to even deal with criticism from my friends sometimes, right? You should expect a reminder of how stupid it was to get a tattoo in the first place. So, but at the same time, I got agents and everything else sharing this as well. So, the syndicate is super powerful. It's a way for you to present to your real estate agents, a way for you to show them how you can help them market their videos online once you make the videos for them. It's a way for you to get your word out there. It's a way to help the agents market their properties. One of the things that I can tell you about the social media syndicate is you don't want to share that $30,000 trailer park listing out in the middle of nowhere, because that's unbelievable. Who's going to say, if you like, hey, what a gorgeous house for $30,000? And I know that's a little exaggerant, but you get what I'm saying here. That people aren't going to buy in that you really wanted to share that, and that there's 15 comments on there and 4 or 5 shares. But if it's a nice $250,000 to $500,000 home, or depending on what your price range is, wherever you're at in the country, and you shared it and you're like, wow, what a great home listed to sell, right? What do you think about it? What's your favorite room after looking at this website? Then people would believe, even if you manufactured through just the use of the social media syndicate 10 or so comments and 2 or 3 shares, when people appear on your page to see what you've been up to, it at least appears as if a normal, a lot of engagement and things like that have gone on, right? Because the outsider doesn't know that you've asked your credit repair person, title company, and appraiser to chime in on your post for an agent. The outside person doesn't know any of this stuff. That's why it's called a syndicate. You're conspiring to to do something for the common benefit of everybody in the group, but outsiders don't know anything about it. And so that's the cool thing about what we're doing here, is it's all relevant to social proof. You can go get, like I said, your information from Reddit. There's a ton of places on Reddit. Like today I learned there's obviously the front page of Reddit. You can go find pics. There's funny, there's politics, world news. So, a lot of times I find I like to talk about not necessarily politics, because I'm kind of neutral when it comes to that, but I know that a lot of people aren't. So I kind of like to play this like mediator in the political game, because it gets me a lot of comments from both sides, and people feel like they can say whatever they need to on my page, because I'm not going to judge them or ban them or kick them out. Now, the reason why I say that is you don't have to be as extreme as I am when it comes to that. But at the same time, you can let agents know that it's okay to post on your page. You can post interesting stuff like right here. Here's the U.S. news. You can find, I'm sure, plenty of interesting stuff to talk about, whether it be like latest scandals or whether it just be really cool, awesome stuff that's happening, right? Like this is funny. German bank employee falls asleep on keyboard, transfers millions. That's hilarious. Especially y'all. I'll even leave this link for you in the back of the group, especially for y'all being loan officers. What if you accidentally fell asleep and made a wire transfer and funded a house you weren't supposed to? That would be awfully weird, I'm sure. So I'll leave this link for you as well. Some kind of content back there, but you can see how easy it is to get content from Reddit, because it's basically, just so you know what Reddit is, it's a forum that pulls RSS feeds, which is every time a website updates, it sends out an RSS feed, and it pulls them all in right here and then separates them by popularity. And I know that's some really big, intelligent, technological stuff right there. But basically, it gives you all the good stuff on the front pages here to where you can find good content to share. And the cool thing about Reddit is if it's going to be on the front page, it's going to have a lot of what they call upvotes here. And so that's going to mean that it's like a viral content, that it's trending, so that you can find the latest and greatest topics, especially under the hot or the controversial tab, to be able to use on Facebook. And now here's the cool thing. Most people on Facebook don't even know, which probably you didn't either, that Reddit exists. So the information that you pull from over here is going to be like breaking news on Facebook, right? Because this is real time fed into Reddit via RSS feed, whereas Facebook relies on a human element to share the material. And so, keep that in mind, that you could find breaking news over here that nobody has any idea. Like right here, 13-year-old crashes a stolen police car and says, yo, bro, I had a really bad day. My girlfriend broke up with me. You don't even know. That's hilarious, right? And I'm sure that you can come to Reddit and find that and frame, hey, what would you do if this was your 13-year-old kid? Plenty of people will chime in, right? And from there, if you're starting to be friends with agents and everything else, then the next thing you know, once you say you post something like that and ask parents to chime in on their thoughts, right? You're going to get quite a few comments. I don't care how many friends you have, because people love to get their opinions. And after you've built up quite a few comments on it, just post above it. Hey, by the way, the market's really hot here in Atlanta. If you're looking for a loan officer that can help you grow your business, that understands social media, marketing, everything else, I'm your guy. Agents, reach out to me, right? In your own perfect language, however you'd want to say it. But you are able to build up that viral content for the whip effect. So I hope that I have taken the time and went slow enough to really explain to y'all why you should be posting, who gets the post. And you see firsthand on my post that agents chime in on my stuff, because agents are all over Facebook. Like we spend a lot of time as loan officers on LinkedIn, but agents are on Facebook. That's where they're being told by all these people that they should go right now for business. That's what they're being told by their broker that they need to use. That's what their coaches are telling them, the Tom Ferries of the world and everything else is telling them that they need to be using Facebook. So this is where they're at. This is where you can reach them, and this is where you can build that first impression of familiarity. One other person that I forgot to tell you about is this guy, Chris Smith. You need to follow him. You can just follow. I'm already his friend, but you can just follow him or send him a friend request. I don't know if he'll accept it, but he'll definitely has followers. And he's a good example. A lot of people like Chris. He works for a company called Dot Loop in Inman, and he does a lot of speaking and things like that. So you can see how agents chime in and share his stuff here. When he releases new videos and things like that, or when people release videos of him, they're generally good. And a lot of agents, this guy has an audience of like 50,000 agents. So he's somebody to follow on Facebook that's talking to agents on a regular basis to copy his style. He's somebody that's on, Facebook on a regular basis, selling to agents and just bringing them the information that they need, so you can learn straight from him and then help the other agents that haven't heard of him. So there's a bunch of things that you can gather from Chris Smith. I think he has a personal page as well, or a fan page as well, that you can follow also. So he's just a really good, popular person in the real estate world. The people that are popular in the real estate world, the Mike Ferries, Tom Ferries, Brian Buffinis, follow all their pages on Facebook and get the notifications from them. Because I assure you, if you're learning the same things agents are, there's a small percentage of agents that are learning from those guys. And if you're actually following them with intensity and learning from people like me and the Ferries and Buffini and all of them, then you're able to bring this information and, again, become more valuable to agents. So the action items for this week, before I let everybody go, is to start posting on Facebook. I'm telling you guys, if we're going to get these 6 extra loans this month, you've got to start posting on Facebook. Every time you post on Facebook, I'm telling you, people are going to reach out to you. I just showed you the amount of agents that chime in and put their opinion on my business. And you see, I have really obscure taste and weird things, but those are all producing agents, some of them brokers, that reach out and are friendly with me and want to do business with me. You can see my box back here that just today alone, I've already had a conversation with quite a few different agents and everything else that have reached out to me, right? All from just posting and being social on here, because I've positioned myself as a person that knows how to make things happen on Facebook. You can do the exact same thing, because I just taught you my secrets. So with that being said, I'm going to upload this and post the replay back there in the group, and then you can ask whatever questions you have on this. Anything you need, just ask. Just post it in the comment section. I'll upload this to YouTube, to where the people that didn't make this live can watch the replay. But like I said, the key to all of this is for you now to go from learning mode to implementation mode. If you put a post out there and the post doesn't work for you and you don't get any engagement, guess what? You can always make it disappear, right? Hide from timeline. And so nobody ever knows that you ever did it. But you can't hit if you don't swing. So you got to get up to bat. You got to post. You can go to Reddit or wherever you want, Yahoo, whatever, for material. Reddit's a great place. But organizing these groups and using the whip effect will totally pole vault and catapult your mortgage business. Trust me. So reach out to me if you need me. I'm here for you 100%. Y'all are not using enough of me. Reach out to me. I want to help you close some loans. So with that being said, have a great rest of the week, and we'll catch you next week if I don't talk to you before then.